Good evening, Queen City. We are a few minutes ahead of schedule, so we'll just kind of sit here and let this build up before we bring our special guests in tonight. We have this broadcasting on my personal page and on the Queen City page. If you have a page that could benefit from anything we're ever doing, you can simply just share the link from Facebook to that group or page, and it should redirect the link right there. So I didn't make like an official 2023 we're doing podcasts posts because my life gets kind of crazy with my full-time job, my daughter playing travel softball and taekwondo, and then running the club. And then this year we decided to go and double the size of the club. So it will end up being an extremely busy year for me. But I have been wanting to add a podcast type deal to what Queen City is. So for the first 2 months or so, I can guarantee we're going to have bi-weekly Monday nighters. And they're not, I don't want to really call them podcasts because I feel like that term is just, saturated at this point. Every club has a podcast. Every guy's got a podcast, this, that. So we're going to keep it real low key and simple. If we can get them going on a Monday night at 8 o'clock, we'll be here. We'll bring in different guests. We'll bring in different sponsors. We'll bring in chambers from cities to talk about their city. Honestly, it'll be off the hip 99% of the time. It won't be scheduled. It won't be anything too official. You'll probably get tired of the background because this is where I plan on sitting Monday nights at 8 o'clock. And I wanted to start it off this year with, obviously, Lake Norman. So, we have a few people here behind the scenes with me. We have Todd Sides. This is his annual event on Lake Norman. We have Final Finish Detailing and Chris, the owner of them. They are brand new to us this year. They are our second place guaranteed money sponsor for the season. We have Dan Mullane. He's brand new with us this year, and he's going to come on and talk. And he is our big bass sponsor of the year. And then we have the man himself, the reigning champ, Mr. Joey Randall. And when Joey gets on, that's where the schedule ends, and we have no idea what's about to go down. So we'll just start talking fishing and talking Lake Norman and talking Queen City. And, that's just the way that this will go for Monday nights. And if it's working out and we're having fun, we'll do it. If you were at the expo, this is essentially what we did at the expo. We had anglers set up seminars. We had business owners set up tables. We had guys talking about what they do outside of Queen City in a venue where 200 anglers came to talk to them. So we're just doing it on a different platform now moving forward. And that's my story. So I'm going to try to fix one thing before we move forward. So on Queen City, where I am doing this right now, if you click the blue link, if you hit read more and click that blue link, it's going to prompt you to allow your StreamYard to talk to Facebook so we can see your name. So I see only Tori's name. For all the people who have commented, I only see Tori's name. And Tori, we love that you love the expo. So I appreciate you being there. That was a lot of fun. I think the expo was a huge, huge hit. And I know all the guys back here backstage with me thought it was a huge hit. And there's a few of them who want to do it again. And there's one of them who might be taking credit for everything that we did. So we'll see. We'll let him get his shine on here in a minute. But yeah, go over to Facebook. I'm not going anywhere. Click that blue link, prompt it to allow StreamYard, and it'll show your name when you comment, which would be great. I can't post any comments from here, so I will respond verbally. I can open my phone and post comments, but I'd like to be with you, so I'm not going to do that. All right, we've been here for 4 minutes. We've got about 30 people in. Not sure how many people show up, kind of like the expo. It is what it is. We're going to bring in the man himself, the person who's been bringing us Lake Norman for a few years now, Mr. Todd Sides. I think most of you know or have met Todd and in some facet, one or the other, on the lake or at a weigh-in or possibly at the expo. So what's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Not much.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I assume you were referring to me about taking credit.
I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you can share.
So about a year ago, I actually sent Vinny a message. He said, man, we should start our own expo and just do a Queen City type kayak expo. And his response was, give me $60,000 and we'll do it. So But
everything is time and money. That's what it comes down to. So
it worked out. So I
yeah,
can't take credit for it because all I did was just making off the customer.
No, it was a great idea. It's something I've been wanting to do. It's just it's never easy to get 200 people under one roof or any amount of people. And then it just comes down to an amazing group of we always call them sponsors, so we'll call them sponsors tonight, but an amazing group of sponsors. When I put 30 companies, 30 business owners in one text message and I say, "Hey, if I'm crazy enough to do this, would you come?" And in less than an hour, 20 of them are like, "Hell yeah." It makes it easy. It makes it easy to do. So we got lucky with the venue. Huge shout out to Steve Winkleman, the guy who gave us access to Insight. It was an awesome venue for what we were. We outgrew it in 1 hour. So we'll have to move on from that venue, but it worked out and, it was a good time. And, your table was awesome. So tell us a little bit about you, Todd, yourself, and then maybe about your business. And then, Todd within Queen City.
I won't take a whole lot of time because I know everybody wants to hear Joey talk. But
oh God, take all the time in the world. Take all the time in the world.
So I guess about 3 years ago, I got involved with Queen City and gave Vinny a call and said, "Hey man," I said, "y'all looking for any sponsors?" And of course, he was like, "Heck yeah!" So this is my third year, my second year sponsoring Norman. After that first year, I was a general sponsor. Called up Vinny and I said, "Hey man, I want Norman. If it opens up, I want Norman because I live on Norman." And he hooked me up, and so sponsored again this year, and then we'll be back again next year, Lord willing. So, but
you keep saying it, I'm gonna mark it down. I can start a new spreadsheet right now.
Hey man, you know me. You gotta tell me to wait to hand you money. So,
you've been great to work with, man. Unfortunately, I'm not in the market to buy a house, so I can't offer you any business. But I know, with almost 4,000 people in the Carolinas on our page, there's got to be somebody looking to buy or sell. So tell us about your services and what you offer.
So I work obviously I work full time as a sheriff's deputy here in Iredell, but I try to cater a lot of my business to first responders, law enforcement, firemen, teachers, people in what I consider an actual service industry. I know we talk about the service industry, but we provide a service that others don't. Sometimes those folks are overlooked. So I like to cater to those folks. And we do give a rebate on our commissions and closing costs and stuff like that, trying to help them out. So I like to focus on that in time. And then when I got involved with Queen City, obviously, anybody that's a QC member, anybody that's on the QC page, I will go out of my way to answer any questions, help them in any way that I can. So kind of what we do. I work for Austin Barnett Realty. Our base is in Davidson, North Carolina. We have an office on the lake at Davidson, overlooking the lake. We have them in Indian Trail, Monroe, Lancaster, Rock Hill, and we're getting ready to open another one down in South Charlotte. So got a lot of locations. I can pretty much do any real estate in North Carolina, and I don't do South Carolina, but I know two down there in the Southern Division. He can hook you up on that end, and he and I talk all the time. So if you have a question that pertains to South Carolina, I'm sending you to him. So he and I work together pretty good on that. So
that's awesome that we were able to bring two on in the South, and you guys working together to support everybody who supports here in the club. We are a club that has kind of outgrown our home location. We've expanded out of the Charlotte region. We've expanded out of North Carolina, honestly. So, it's awesome to have you guys surrounding us on North and the South, and having access to a real estate agent is always, always important in your life. I'm a 2-time homeowner. I know at some point in life I'll be a 3-time homeowner, and hopefully you can help me there, Todd.
So when a lot of people have questions, so I've never understood why we don't have classes more geared in high school teaching people about what earnest money is, due diligence, interest rates, how an interest rate is different than the APR, and how all that, the home buying process, how that goes, because those are things that they really need to know. And a lot of people are embarrassed to say, "Hey, I don't know what due diligence is. I don't know what earnest money is."
It's not something that is forced down our throats. Most of the general public has no idea, and it's scary. When you don't know, it's scary. So maybe you could offer a general knowledge class one night on a Monday at 8 p.m.
Be glad to do it. Be glad to do it. So, but right now everybody's complaining about interest rates, and back in the late 70s and early 80s, interest rates were peaking around 18%. So right now we're back to where kind of the median for all the years, the last 30 years, is at 5 and 6%. I think today was like 6. What was it today? 30 years, 6.4. So I always I put a post on my Facebook page the other day. I was listening to a podcast, and this guy said this, and I can't remember his name, but people are like, "Well, I don't want to buy a house now because the price and interest rate." And I tell people, when you find a house, finding a house is like finding a good bass spot. When you know there's bass there, and it's got the right location, it's got the right terrain, it's got everything you need for catching bass, there's not another spot like that. That's your spot. That's the spot you want. And when it comes to a house, that's the same way. That's your honey hole. So I tell folks now, marry the house, date your interest rate because you can always refinance, and definitely divorce your landlord. So that's you're just wasting money on rent. So
yeah, my dad taught me that at a young age. He told me the second you can, go buy a house. And my dad's a real estate broker. He still owns his company, and I bought my first house at 22 years old. Second I could afford it, or convinced the bank that I could afford it, I bought a house, and now I've owned a home now for 15 years. So definitely would love to have you giving a base knowledge course class one night, possibly.
Be glad to. And there's so many different things you can do right now: conventional loans, FHA loans, USDA loans. USDA loans are, most of the time you can get 100% financing on those. Just that house has to be in a USD area, which we live in a pretty rural area up here in Iredell and in parts of Mecklenburg, and a lot of Cabarrus, a lot of Rowan. Those are USDA areas, so we can make it work, and we'll find something.
So somebody threw up a question: cash out, refinance, or equity loan?
Well, it depends on what you want to do. I think Dan, I'm not sure exactly what all his financial services entail. He may be a better one to answer that one.
All right. I guess we'll pass that off here in a few minutes to Dan. Well, Todd, you're more than welcome to stay on camera with us. Just keep that in mind. Don't start running around naked in your room there. We'll keep you on camera. We're going to bring in Final Finish, and they are essentially tag teaming this event with you. They are actually tag teaming every event we do this year with our presenting sponsor. They are a brand new company here in the Charlotte area, getting kicked off, Final Finish Detailing, and they are the reason that we are able to guarantee your second place $1,000 every event we fish this year. So Chris is the owner, correct, Chris?
Yes, sir.
And I see you have your beautiful wife there with you, so I'll let you introduce her.
This is my wife, Shannon, co-owner, or the boss of this operation.
The boss of the company. So I have to go to her for next season's sponsorship. Got it.
Sir.
So, Chris, it was awesome to have you at the expo. You did a great job on my wife's Sonata. It's still really, really slippery in there. Looks good. Obviously, we wanted you to do the Ram, and I told you why we didn't do the Ram, and the Ram is actually still at the dealership until Friday. So it's been in there 2 weeks, so I'm glad we didn't do it. But as soon as it's out, we're going to figure out how to get you to make it all look pretty again, and then we can show it off a little bit. But, yeah, tell us a little bit about what you do, how long you've been doing it, maybe some prices, maybe, about the fact that you come to people's houses. Sell us on you.
So I'll just start with how long I've been doing this. I've been doing detailing about 5 years now. I started from a local car wash, worked my way up through dealerships, and now I'm sitting here running my own business.
Nice.
Mobile, like you said, we'll travel in the Carolinas, some distances. There may be an extra, fuel charge fee, but we do service all of the Carolinas, wherever you guys are located. Where was I going with this? Oh.
On the mobile, my mom texted me and she was like, he's coming to my house. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I was like, so he's going to come to my house when I need to get it done too. That's, that's awesome to be able to sit inside on a couch while you work outside. I'm not going to lie to you. That's the dream.
Oh yeah, I understand. It's a lot of people don't realize it is mobile. So for everyone out there, we are mobile. We'll travel wherever. We do cars, trucks, boats, planes. You got it. We'll clean it for you. If
we have anybody fishing Queen City who owns a plane, I need to talk to them immediately.
Yeah.
I have something to tell you.
I just got to throw it out there because I have experience with them. So
give us a breakdown of your pricing, just some basic services.
We have 3 main packages. One starting at $75. That's just your basic, quick clean outside, quick clean outside. We have the second one starting at $100. That's a little more in depth on the outside and inside. Nothing too crazy though. And then we have the complete, that starts at $200, and that gets you run of the mill, everything just short of like a whole polish on your car, extraction of dirty seats. That's really the 2 things that leaves out on that package itself. So, and then going into that, we offer, ceramic coating starting at $300. And then
how long is that ceramic good for in that package there?
The first one, it lasts a year, warrantyable, obviously. And then I have them going up all the way up to a 5-year one. That's, higher in pricing. But like I was saying, it's starting at $300. And then we have other services, if you just want your outside done, if you just want a seat done, or if you want whatever, we'll come out and do it. And we're making sure to get all our pricing lists out there online. So if nobody, sees this or got a pamphlet at the expo, they know.
Cool. Well, you guys did an awesome job at the expo. I loved your hold on, I got to say it right. The wheel deal.
The Wheel of Deals.
The Wheel
that
of
was
Deals.
my idea.
I got yelled at the first time, but the Wheel of Deals was awesome. I got so busy I didn't get a chance to spin it, but I want whatever the best one is on my truck. So whatever it was on there, that's the one I got.
I mean, you might have engine bay cleaning for your truck then.
Engine bay cleaning. Nice. I hope it runs when it leaves RAM.
Hopefully.
No, it's running fine. I had a window warranty they had to take care of, and I don't even remember what the first reason I went in for. It wasn't the window. The window was the second thing. Why the hell did I go in the first time? I don't know. Basic maintenance. But yeah, so it's awesome. You are the first of your kind to support Queen City. We've never had this type of service or sponsor involved with us. I hope you do really well. I hope you make it rich off all the guys driving fancy trucks in the club. I know we've had a few questions about you servicing at ramps. I know there's some hurdles to figure out with that, but you want to touch on that at all, maybe?
We are working on a solution to get us, I guess, a little more mobile, you could say. We're just trying to figure out a trailer. So if anybody in here can, knows a good, decent trailer that we could start with.
So an indoor enclosed trailer?
It doesn't have to be enclosed, open, whatever. I just need something that I can put some water tanks on. That way I can go out and service, you guys at boat ramps. Because
I did just post that 4x6 one. I don't know what size you need, but my neighbor is selling that 4x6 one. I don't know if that would do it for you.
It could possibly. I'll have Steven help me with some measurements and see about that. I got to figure out what the number was, but for all the guys, if there's 4 or 5 of you guys a weekend that want your truck done, I'll offer a little bit more of a discount to that. And then I also want to put out a discount all Queen City, everybody involved with it. That's 10% discount off the top immediately for you guys as a little thank you for letting us be a part of Queen City Kayak.
Thanks, man. We'll have to get that added to the discount graphic that we use. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about you, or do you fish?
I do.
Oh, yes. We need more ladies involved.
She does. I mean, I don't mind going out fishing once in a while. Haven't gotten the passion to go and buy a kayak and join you guys on the lake yet, but
that's a yet. It'll happen.
I was gonna join the women's league, but Steven sold my kayak and still has yet to buy me a new one. He's over there. We keep looking at him. He's the not so silent partner.
So for those of you who don't know about the silent partner, it is Steven Stockinger. He is a longtime Queen City angler. I'm sure he could pop in and show his face, but he was at the expo slinging some baits, and here he comes, I'm sure.
Yeah,
so Steven,
I'm the silent, not so silent partner.
This is the definitely not silent, straight up from New York. Still hasn't lost the accent, Stockinger.
Right.
So, hey, you're here. Take 2 minutes. Tell us about what you got going on this year with us.
steal the limelight.
Well, I'm going to be sponsoring the Elite Side Pots for South and West with my bait company that I just started up this year, doing custom soft plastics, any kind of color, design, flake, buoyancy. I can pretty much do it. I'm going to have some videos coming out doing some tests in a fish tank, so you can see the fall rates of all the different plastics and how they react in the water.
Nice.
Yeah, there'll be also packages on the table, so if you don't want to make that jump yet, grab a free package, try them out, and just let me know what you think.
Yeah, and you did a great job at the expo. Your table was banging, man. For everybody who's listening, I asked all the sponsors to have 6 foot of space. Pretty sure between Realm of Fear and Final Finish, they had 30 feet of space. So I'm not really sure we grew out of the space we had if it wasn't for you all, but you had a corner going that was awesome. And I know we sold a lot of baits. I won't say any numbers, but I know you told me how many you sold, and that was awesome. So there's a lot of,
man. So,
yeah.
And like I did, really what I brought to that show was colors you're not going to find in the store. They have these Morphous colors that actually change in the different color water and light, which I've been practicing with. So we'll see how well they do.
I guess we will in a few days.
That's right.
No pressure now.
All right, I'm jumping off. Let these guys finish.
Final Finish, you are more than welcome to leave, or you can stay and hang out. I'll give you the same warning I gave Todd. If you stay right here, we can see you the whole time.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring on. I think it's his first time ever in life at 30-something years old on any type of live stream. So, Mr. Dan Mullane with Net Financial Consulting or Consultants. I know Dan personally a very, very long time. Met him on the river, like 2 serious rednecks fishing behind the dam. And before we knew it, we were floating down the river with him and his dog. And my wife's like, "Who are you fishing with today?" And I'm like, "Some dude I met up at the river." And this was probably like a decade ago now. And here we are on StreamYard with Dan. And Dan is a big part of what we're doing this year. Dan is your guaranteed Big Bass sponsor every month. So he is involved all year long, making sure your Big Bass pot is at least $300 every event. And as you know or don't know, those of you who are watching, Big Bass is free. It's included in your entry fee. Nothing comes off the top. It's completely free, and you're going to go home with $300 and a piece of this really, really fire Catch Products Big Bass trophy that we're doing this year. So, Dan, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do and anything you would like to talk about.
Awesome. Thanks for the intro. I have been kayak fishing since Hobie was the only one with a pedal drive. So been out there a little while. I remember even when Vinny had some initial conversations about this club, hanging out with Luke Britz in the basement, trying to decide, how we're going to measure fish. What are we going to do? How are the rules going to work? So, I do feel like I'm excited to see what you, Vinny, have done with this club. It's impressive. So
thank you.
Congrats to you for that, putting on a great show. Thanks for the expo. I'm just really happy to be able to be a part of it. I haven't been fishing as much as I was when Vinny described when we first met. I've got 2 little kids now, a 4 and a 2-year-old. So I'm going to be living mostly vicariously through you all. And I really want to see some big bass caught. I was really excited to be able to grab that spot. I love the tournament game, but when I did fish, I felt like I just loved chasing the big ones too. So I can't wait to see what you guys all put together this year. About me, I've been in the financial services business for a decade now. I started with a larger company and kind of branched out into my own firm 2.5 years ago. There's 4 people that work with me now. And I guess what I would leave you with, there's a lot in finance. And we like to say that we do it all, but I think the industry is a little bit tainted in that there's a lot of people that just sell specific products or just gather assets to management. And certainly that is part of someone's financial world. But what we do at Net Financial Consultants, I believe, is truly comprehensive. When you make a decision in any area in finance, we'll just use Todd since he was on the call, like purchasing a home. There's so many financial decisions that have a ripple effect on so many other pieces of your financial world. And my job is really to just make sure that people are making educated decisions and understanding what the ripple effect is. So again, kind of like Todd said too, I'm here to help you guys, be a resource any way I can for any financial questions. And I just want to make sure that people's actions are in alignment with their expectations for the future. There's a lot of changing parts. Tax laws change, rules change, your life is going to change as, kids grow up. To give you a couple ideas of topics that seem to be of interest, certainly investing money, knowing how to save for retirement. Work with a lot of people that have kids. There's college planning. There is student loan planning. I work with a lot of people in the medical markets and that graduate school with debt. Another area we really focus in is retirement income planning. There's a lot of ways to kind of approach that, but I think that our way is unique and more comprehensive than most of the other wirehouses and shops in town. So again, I'm happy to have an open conversation with anybody. There's no charge for that. Just to have a conversation and learn more about what you're looking for and just to see if it'd be a good fit for me to help.
So can I jump in right here?
Yeah, sure.
So those of you who know me personally, or at least follow Facebook a little bit, I am a 15-year veteran teacher here in Charlotte. And every year, once a year, they force these financial investment people down our throat at one of the open meetings. And for 14 years, I didn't invest anything into my retirement. And Dan and I had spoken about 2 years ago, I guess when you were starting to branch out on your own. And, Dan and I run in the same large circle. We know a lot of the same people, and everybody was like, well, you should definitely talk to Dan about investing, And it's always, you always feel like you need the money now. And, you're worried about losing X amount of dollars per month towards putting it towards your retirement. But Mary and I finally sat down and we were like, we got to do something. We have to start, because I want to retire at 52. That's my goal. And I was like, let me call Dan. We'll meet with Dan. And, we did multiple Zoom meetings, virtual meetings. Long story short, Dan's who I invest with. So I feel like he's doing a good job with me. I don't check it as often because I know the economy is crazy, but I know the money's there, and I know Dan's taking care of me and doing the best that he can do to make sure that I'm not burning money that I need towards retirement. So I guess what I'm trying to say is if I can trust Dan with a little bit of money, I can put away every month. I think you guys can too. And I think it's important. I started doing it late, started investing at 35. I'm 37 now, so I don't have a ton in there. But I appreciate you walking me through everything and making me understand it in very simple terms. Because, again, it's something like Todd said. This is not – we don't ever get a course on this, right? We don't get a course on how to do our taxes. We don't get a course on how to buy a house. We don't get a course on when you should invest, how you should invest. And if you're like me, you don't trust the person who's telling you this is how you should invest. I have trust issues. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. So, I'm from New York. This is just how we are. You're not going to sell us anything. We're going to sell you. So when you come to me and you tell me I got to give you all this money that I'm never going to see again for 30 years, it's tough to believe in that person. But, I went with Dan and I think I made a really good decision. So I urge you all, if you're even thinking about it, to just give Dan a call. And he's really easy guy. And before you know it, you'll be talking about fishing after you decide to invest. So he's one of us. And I think that's awesome as well.
Thanks, Vinny. Yeah. All good stuff.
So we got Dan the man here on the comments. Of course, they didn't follow the rules, so it could be Luke. We don't know. Dan is good friends with Luke Britz, who is a supporter of the club for a very long time. We say it every year. Luke is the reason I'm here doing what we're doing. Luke was the first one to push me to do what we're doing. So, Dan, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say about anything? I mean, fishing, your business, anything?
I don't think so.
Cool. Yeah. You're more than welcome to stay. I can kick you out if you want, but we're gonna bring in somebody whose room is lighting up like crazy right now backstage. This is 2 months overdue, but we're gonna bring in the champ from 2022, Mr. Deuce himself. Now has to go by Ace, Joey Randall. And
What up, man? What's up?
Thing is
Dog's
obnoxious.
going crazy.
What's up, baby?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. So you've been backstage. You get to meet or talk with some of the people who are supporting the club where you are the reigning champ, and I think that's pretty cool. I see some hardware back there that you took home this past winter. It was. I would like to make it. Can you make it flash one more time?
Stripper mode.
So amazing.
Isn't it beautiful? I mean, just making it rain back there.
So, Joe, I want you to tell us about you. How long have you been fishing? How long have you been a part of Queen City? What it meant to finally, get that big W, and then we'll talk about what's coming up this weekend.
I think this will be my 7th year of Queen City. That was my 6th TOC. I've been fishing Lake Norman. I know we're here to chit chat about Lake Norman, but basically, I named my dog after Lake Norman. I've fished it so much, so I kind of consider it my home lake. I know I get razzed about home lake here and there in Hickory and Mountain Island, but to me, Norman and Mountain Island, that's my two home. I kind of grew up on Lake Norman. I live right here on the western shores. It's kind of Denver, Alexis, Stanley area. I'm about 10 minutes from two of the most popular ramps on the lake. I've just been biding my time. I got lucky this time, Vinny. I wound up the champ this time by the grace of God, 3/4 of an inch. And I actually lost the fish that could have put me in second place like it should have done for the 8th time in a row. But at Clark's Hill, I was able to just squeak by the skin of my teeth. I was lucky, very lucky this time.
So what do they say? Luck is a combination of skill and preparation, something along those lines.
Yeah, it's a crossroads of skill and preparation. But
yeah, so I wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, we knew you were here. Like, we knew who you were, and it was just going to be a matter of time. And to pop it on the big one, man. What'd you go home with? Almost $6,000. So.
Yeah, it was right at $6,000. It was, like I said, I had finished second 2 years in a row to Matt Hodge, so it was getting. And then it was getting pretty close there. It was like a matter of time, and it was relief for me this time. It was, instead of just feeling happy about winning, it was just finally getting the monkey off my back, because it was long overdue. And I know that sounds a bit conceited, but it was just such a relief for me. I'm very proud of it now. I do reminisce a little bit and like to go back to Clark's Hill eventually. That'd be nice, but it's going to be a fun year, man. This is going to be your 9th, 10th season?
This is QC's 9th season.
And this will be my 7th. So, man, we can talk about me. I mean, let's talk about the championship. Hell yeah, me. But, dude, 9 years, 10 years, look at this. Look at what this has become since I've been around.
It's not me. It's to the guys that are in those boxes next to you.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But
not me.
We got a ringmaster somewhere around here.
I'm the face because we couldn't let you be the face. We
I mean, my modeling career wasn't taking off. So
it wasn't doing well.
Fishing. So I just had to take up fishing. So,
but no, we do. I know we only have 3 sponsors on here, but we're over 50 sponsors for the year. We have sponsors who will never make it on a live, but they support what we do from across the country, and we are what we are because of the people behind the scenes, and we love them and we thank them, and I got to do my job to give them as much shine as possible, and then they have to provide a service or a product that guys are happy buying. And I think the 3 people on screen with us here, I think, are going to do really good this year. We're all adults with careers, so I really do think it's important to talk about investing. We're adults who need to be buying houses and get rid of your landlord, and then hell, like I said,
that's right.
How many $7,000 trucks at ramps? So I like my truck clean. So I know Final Finish, I'll be on a monthly service with his ass. So
That's right.
Never
That's
Nimble.
right. I mean, we have some of the best sponsors I have seen. I mean, we have some people that will just, pretend to be sponsors in other places, but we have legitimate, down to the bone, real sponsors. These guys come out, they show up, they stand up for us time and time again. And it's just amazing what we've been able to put together through those guys like you're speaking of.
Yep.
So, yeah. But
so we'll transition into Norman and
right.
with the sponsors, the beauty that we've grown into now is now we have city support, right? So we're working with Visit Mooresville next week. So when these shiny plaques hit my porch tomorrow and it's got that Todd Sides logo all over it up in the corner next to first place, it's going to say Visit Mooresville. So we got to give a shout out to Mooresville for having us in. They give us a hotel deal. And I know with Mooresville, it's a little weird because we all kind of live here. So not a lot of people are taking advantage of a hotel deal, but we have a hotel deal. I'm actually staying there Friday night, supporting Mooresville, supporting the city. They provide a venue for us.
That's
so
right.
We're going to the pit, the indoor go-kart racing like we did last year. That room was phenomenal. We sat under because everybody's paying attention except for maybe the car washers. I'm not sure.
Well,
I'm not sure he knows what it's going to take on Norman, but
no, he won't.
What do we think?
I think that Norman right now is kind of in limbo. This is the time of year where I call Norman limbo, and it's the Norman limbo. Excuse me. So it doesn't know if it wants to get really, really cold, or if it doesn't know if it wants to warm up and go spring. Because I just saw daffodils growing in my yard. It's not even February yet, and if you've been around the South bass fishing for as long as John Ladd, you know that daffodils, they don't usually start till late February, mid-February when the ground reaches a certain temperature. So now the earth is trying to warm back up. The water's doing the same thing. So typically, I'll let y'all in on, here's the first little secret. Here's the first little Lake Norman secret. The colder, the better. The colder, the better. And that's the truth.
I got a few Norman plaques back here. I don't need your damn secrets, boy.
Oh, well, hey.
I was out the other day and started hearing frogs chirping.
Don't listen to anything I say then.
So what Joey said, if you're a cold water angler, you like the winter, you have winter arsenal, which personally, when I decide to fish again, I like the winter. I have a cold water arsenal. The cold water makes them react a certain way. It makes them do a certain thing. You can almost pinpoint where they're going to be. It's when that water starts warming up that they get scattered. Yeah, we know they're heading shallow, but where, right? And what are they going to be doing?
They get spaced out.
Spaced out. The beauty of Lake Norman, you could go certain places and you're in a full-on winter pattern. You can go other places and you're bed fishing right now in February.
That's exactly right.
People always ask, why are we fishing Lake Norman every February? Where else can you do that? Where else can you go rip an A-rig in 30-foot and catch 5-pounders or go flip a bed in February? There is nowhere else. Maybe Kiwi, and we're doing that again in 2 weeks.
We got to go down to Florida, which I'll be down at the Harris Chain in a couple of weeks. So that's about the only place. And those are grass lakes that are 10-foot deep. So good luck with your A-rig there.
I'd still be trying. But, right. I know Todd's been out fishing. Todd, what's your recent experience on Norman been?
I took the live scope out and played with it the other day, and it's there for a while, man. They were, you look at the hook setters page. I know somebody tried to say there wasn't good fish in Norman, but a couple weeks ago they pulled a 7-pounder out of there, and there's been a couple 5s, and I mean they've been pulling them out, but. I was talking to some buddies that went fishing this week, and for whatever reason, this week they just decided to stay home. So I don't know. With the cold coming in and the snow, I will tell you this right now: back in the coves where those creeks come in, that water is muddy, and right down behind the house here, it's like chocolate milk.
Yeah, there'll still be plenty of opportunity to find clean water on Norman. If you're somebody who chases big largemouth, that dirty water might be of some interest to you, depending on the temperature. Down
south, the water is warm and clear. Up north, you know how it is up north. So.
Yeah. So and Lake Norman's large, and there's numerous access points that we'll be allowed to use. And there will be, this is the same at every tournament, every month, every lake. There's going to be a group of people who struggle. There's going to be a group of people who sit in that 60 range. And then you're going to have that group of people. And it might be people who you never heard of that are going to be popping 70. And I think personally it's going to take 75 to win. And that's $2,000 for 75 inches. So I guess we'll see in a week. I know the weather is going to be funky this whole week, but if you listen to what Joey just said, you want it to be colder. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So I'm excited to see it all happen. I know Joey's probably real excited to be out there. Are you going to pre-fish a little bit this week, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely going to do some pre-fishing, but really and truly, like Todd said, I haven't been fishing Norman as much this winter because I've been moving in houses, but I watch bass boat tournaments of weights, and boy, you can just about correlate bass boat weights to the amount of anglers that are talking about how their days went on the water, and it lines up almost lockstep sometimes. What was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago? Like Todd said, 7-pounder, but it was 7-pounder, but there were 14 pounds in tournaments weren't getting paid. There was, 18 pounds won another tournament. Shane, LeHue, and I can't remember the other guy's name. They had 20 pounds, and they were all largemouth. And that was 2.5, maybe that was 3 weekends ago. So, and it just goes through phases like that. And it'll warm up, and they'll space out, and they'll get cold, and they'll start chewing again. And it'll just go like that until the whole lake starts to warm up.
And we're not there yet.
No, it's going to be.
It's one thing I've learned over fishing the Carolina lakes for, almost 15 years now, 13 years. We feel it. We think it's spring, but it's not. It's still where we need it to be as anglers. They're still grouped up. They're still sitting on points. They're still looking for warmer structure. Lake Norman, obviously, we're going to have some winds because I think Lake Norman has its own wind maker. And, that's usually a key player on Lake Norman. I used to say that when I was a new angler, like it's never glass out here. Never.
Well,
got its own wind maker.
Right. And I think one good thing, so sometimes, when the lake does certain things, you can pretty much pinpoint where some of the big bags are going to get one out of. Like when Hobie was here, when there was a few tournaments, like I got second place at, Chris won. We knew exactly where those fish were going to be. There was no shadow of a doubt. Best place on the lake to be. But this year, maybe there won't be 6 or 7 bags over 70. I know it's going to take 75 to win. There's going to be 2 guys that absolutely blast them, no doubt. But I think this year, as long as the river isn't just absolutely blown out, this whole lake is game on because it hasn't got too freaking cold yet.
Yep.
So it's not going to damage the fish that are stagnant, that the resident fish that just never move. So those fish are not going to be too dormant, but you're not going to be around the biggest groups of fish. So you just got to pick and choose. I think the whole lake is wide open from Long Island to Blythe.
It's exciting, and I'm not sure if. Yeah, I don't want to speak on where it was won last year because I don't know if that angler ever said where he won it last year. So I won't speak on that. But I know, Joe, you've won a few tournaments out there. Well, have you actually won a Norman? No, obviously. You've gotten second.
Mountain Island. I won a Mountain Island.
Yeah. So.
Oh, no, I did. I won one out of Little Creek one time. Kissed my butt.
That wasn't a shot. Wasn't a shot.
No, that's good.
Dan, listen, we all have loaner kayaks. I'm semi-retired. I always have pedals in the garage. So, we'd love to see you out at one of these. I know life is crazy and probably miserable cold water is not the first event you want to jump into, but I know you mentioned coming out with us this year. Is that something you plan on doing?
Yeah, I'm getting some talk about what are you calling it? The Catawba Clash in the fall. That one might draw my attention.
Oh, is there a stretch of water on there that appeals to your type of fishing, sir?
It'd be nice to get out there for sure.
It'll be 900. There'll be no current. Watch.
That's
so
right.
Yeah. So we do have some new water open this year. We moved the Clash further south. It's going to be Wiley, the River, Fishing Creek, and Wateree. So that's exciting for a whole new group of anglers that we possibly opened up to. And I'm no it's no secret. I love fishing the Catawba River. It's where I met Dan. It's where I have come to know Luke and Chris Gravely and Kyle Hancock and a bunch of my boys that fish that area. So it's exciting to have it on the schedule this year. So I guess that'll be your debut with us, we could say.
I hope sooner, but yeah, definitely then.
Cool. Well, Joe, you have anything else you want to throw in? If anybody else has anything you want to say?
I have two things. So if you're coming down to Norman, just make sure that somebody knows where you're at when you launch on this big lake. Okay. It is not a Lake Murray. It is not a Santee Cooper. Okay. Don't get it twisted. This isn't, giant Hawaii waves out here or a Great Lake or anything like that. But please, just make sure somebody knows where you're at and plan to be safe. Take your extra precautions. Make sure you wear your PFD. I know you'll be DQ'd if you're catching fish without a PFD. But, just be smart because last year on Norman, the wind kicked up out of nowhere. And the wind is your friend, by the way. But the wind kicked up on Norman, and a few people got caught in some bad positions. So just make sure everybody knows where you're at, and don't get too close to boats, and don't get too close to docks and whitecaps because they will smash you up against the docks. So just be careful out there, guys. And then the second thing, a buddy of ours, Jeff Malott, his granddaughter has been diagnosed with a rare type of blood cancer. There's a benefit tournament. It's Rowan's Heroes Benefit Tournament. And if you feel obliged to help out, please help us. He's the creator of KBN, Kayak Bass Nation. He kind of just, we've had our battles in the past, but they are the leader of the free world as far as kayak fishing goes and the voice of the free world. So anyway, if you guys can help out, check it out. And then, yeah, other than that, Vinny, let's ride, buddy. I'm ready to go.
I got one more thing, Dan.
Well, let me just jump on what he just said. I did post that event. It does have the registration link under the See More. It's a $30 entry fee. It's not a lot of money. It's not any money. Most of us are going to feel if we donate it. There is an option to add another 10 or another 20, so you can donate 30, 40, or 50. I would imagine 100% of the proceeds are going to go to Jeff taking care of his granddaughter. Jeff is good people. Jeff is one of us. Jeff does exactly what we're doing right now. Weekly podcast with Mr. Ryan Lambert. I met Jeff finally personally down at Eufaula in the spring. And, we chit-chatted. Obviously, I've been on KBN numerous times. So, obviously, I donated personally right away. I know the strength we have here at Queen City. I think we can all spare a few bucks, even though Norman was expensive this week for a lot of people with all the add-ons. But just what Joey said, just think about it. Todd, what you got, buddy?
So I know that everybody sees this wonderful real estate stuff, but again, my full-time job is law enforcement. We've had some issues with some marinas, couple trying to run people off and stuff. My number is right there at the bottom. You got me on Facebook Messengers. If anybody tries to run you out of the water or away from a dock or harasses you, call me, and I will make sure wildlife knows. The wildlife officer is my buddy. Dyer, he's working that day, and all I got to do is message him, and he is on it. So don't.
Now, keep in mind, guys, don't put yourself in a situation.
Oh, yeah, 100%, where, yes.
They don't own the water. They're not allowed to tell you to not be there. But there's also idiots in this world. We have had anglers, boat and kayak, have people on a dock pull out a gun. This is not – they don't have the right to do that. But I would make sure you don't put yourself in that situation as well. Yeah. My rules –
just hit me up and I'll get somebody out there.
Yeah, just follow state law and you're within Queen City rules, and no marina owns Lake Norman. So take down – Todd, maybe we could can you put your number in the comments or maybe in the event page? I can't comment. That's one flaw with this platform. I'm not sure why. I think it's because I'm sharing to Facebook. I'm not allowed to comment. I can do it on my phone, so I have the phone open. So, but I'll start kicking you guys out as we get to wrap up here. Joe, thank you so much for being here, man, for everything, for being a QC angler, for being the reigning champ, for talking to us on a Monday night at 9:00. We appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate all our sponsors. Thanks, Todd, Dan.
See you Saturday, buddy. Dan, thank you for being here. Your rookie season as a sponsor. I hope you enjoy your time. I hope you do well financially through the club, so you're willing to come back and hang out. I do look forward to fishing with you again. It's been way too long. And if you could slide over a little bit and let me just see that fish tank real quick before you leave. So we have that in common as well. He's got a nice little reef tank behind him there, and you guys all have seen my journey so far. So we have
Thanks,
that in
Benny.
common. Take care, Dan.
See ya.
And we have the Final Finish crew. Thanks, guys, for being here in your rookie season as a sponsor with us. I think I might have forgot to say it. Your logo is going to be on all the second place plaques this year, which is a lot of damn plaques. So you'll see that on Saturday when we show off what's going on. If you'd like to be there, all the information's posted on Facebook. I will get you set up to come out to the house and take care of the ram, and I look forward to making you guys some business.
All right. Appreciate you guys letting us be a part of this. And hopefully soon you guys will get off the water to some nice, clean trucks.
I'm looking forward to having that option because I think that's going to be killer.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Later, buddy.
Yes.
And Mr. Todd Sides, not your rookie year, your third year overall. I appreciate you. The guys appreciate you. Last year was fun when I was on the boat and I ran into you on the lake. I think we hung out and chit-chatted for like 20 minutes. So I was like, bro, you're in a tournament. Go fish. But, this is kind of the relationship that you and I have, and I love it. So I appreciate you. I want to get you to sell a house this year. He did sell the ex-co-commissia house. Did you sell his house as well?
Sold his house and got a house. Bought him a house.
So we got a double banger on the old Brad Cox. Brad may make a guest appearance this weekend. I invited him tonight. So he's like, has Queen City kicked off? I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? I post 70 times a day. But he's not on social
world, so
he left social media. So we I want to get you some more sales this year. I think it's great you're working with two down in the South. And at some point, as this progresses into more of a podcast scenario, we'll have two on as well. So Todd, be safe in your real job, and I'll see you Saturday.
See you, bro.
Later, dude. And that is all she wrote. So episode 1 of the thing we're not going to call a podcast on a Monday night at 8 o'clock. We do have one in 2 weeks. We're going to be talking with South Carolina directors. We're going to have Blaine on. We're going to have 1 or 2 of the South Carolina BASS Nation series on. I'll be on talking about the South Carolina division, and we're going to be talking about Lake Kiowee. This is a double dip event between us and Bass Nation. Most of the rules coincide. The big difference, obviously, is the motors. So if you're fishing Bass Nation and you're using a motor, unfortunately, you won't be able to double dip. I am contemplating jumping in that event on the bass side. So maybe I will even talk about being an angler. We'll see. I haven't touched the kayak since November, so I don't know. But those of you who tuned in tonight, I'm not sure how many it was. I do appreciate you guys watching and being here and supporting who's supporting us. You see the sponsors around the outside of the screen here. I want to give a huge shout out to them. Native Watercraft is our premier sponsor for everything we do. Boondocks is the premier sponsor of the Southern Division. Big Adventures, the factory store, is the premier sponsor of the Western Division. And your Angler of the Year title this year is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. You guys know we still do the Academy Receipts program. So any money you spend, let me say that again, any money you spend, it doesn't have to be a minimum amount. Any money you spend at any academy across the country, whether you fish Queen City or not, send me the receipt and we put you in a drawing for a $50 gift card every month of the year. So we're going to wrap the wheel up tomorrow and we'll do a drawing probably Wednesday and we'll give a card away. So you guys know where to reach me if you need anything. If not, I'll be posting all week long about Lake Norman. Would love for you to get signed up earlier rather than later. We're pushing 70 right now. Hoping we're in that 150 range, but no matter what, first place going home with $2,000. So I look forward to seeing you all at the pit in Mooresville, North Carolina, and you all have a good night.